What if the thing hurting your kidneys most is not a rare chemical, not a strange toxin, and not a pain that announces itself early? What if it is something ordinary, something familiar, something sitting in your kitchen, something you may have used this morning, without thinking twice? Many people believe kidney damage begins with a dramatic warning, a sharp pain, a serious illness, a clear signal that something is wrong. But that is not usually how it works. The kidneys are quiet. They work in silence. They filter. They balance, they protect, they keep going, even while strain is building in the background. And that is exactly why this matters. Because by the time many people notice a real problem, the burden may already be deep. So today, I want to make that invisible burden easier to see. Not with complicated medical language, not with fear, and not with extreme advice. Just with a simple rule you can actually remember. And before we get to number 1, here is the rule. Move. Check. Cut back. Move your body, check the label, cut back the daily habit. That sounds harmless, but keeps repeating. That is the rule. Simple, practical, and more powerful than it looks. Because several of the kidney stressors older adults face most often are not dramatic at all. They are ordinary routines. And today, we are going to go through 4 of the biggest ones. We will start with the one many people do not even think of as kidney-related, and we will move step by step to the one I would take most seriously of all, because the danger is not always what feels extreme. Very often, the real danger is what feels normal. There is a reason this matters more after 60. At this stage of life, many people are no longer starting from zero. Blood pressure may already need watching. Blood sugar may already run higher than it used to. Energy may not feel as steady. Some evenings may bring mild swelling. Some people already have borderline kidney labs, a stone history, or the quiet feeling that the body does not recover the way it used to, and the kidneys themselves change with age too. Their filtering reserve slowly declines. That means a habit that looked small at 35 may not be so small at 65. That is why repeated strain matters more now. Not because the body is weak, but because the margin is smaller. And if you want an easy comment today, type kidney check below. That way, you do not have to think about what to write, and it helps me know you want more calm, practical videos like this. Number 4, sedentary living. This one surprises people because it is not a food. It is not a drink. It is not a pill. It is something you do not do. You do not move enough. And that matters more to the kidneys than many people realize. The kidneys depend on healthy blood flow. Think of a strong river, fresh, moving, carrying waste away. Now think of stagnant water. Still, water collects trouble. That is the trap. When you move, blood moves better. The heart pumps with more purpose. Circulation improves. And those tiny kidney filters receive the flow they depend on. But when long sitting becomes the routine, everything slows. Blood sugar regulation becomes harder. Weight tends to creep up. Blood pressure often follows. And those 3 things, obesity, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes, are some of the biggest kidney enemies after 60. So the smarter move is not panic. It is movement, not extreme movement, repeatable movement. Stand up every hour. Walk through the house. Stretch your arms. Take a short walk after a meal. Do chair exercises. If your balance or joints make walking harder, the goal is not intensity. The goal is interruption. Break the stillness. Restart the flow. Because every time you move, you help circulation work for you again. Number 3. Common painkillers. This one hides in plain sight. It sits in medicine cabinets everywhere. A headache pill, a back pain pill, a joint pain pill. And because it is familiar, people assume it is gentle. That is where many people get misled. Medicines like ibuprofen, naproxen, and diclofenac can reduce blood flow to the kidneys, especially when they are used often, used in higher amounts, or taken as a routine answer to everyday pain. Here is the simple picture. The kidneys need certain protective signals to help keep blood vessels open. NSAID painkillers interfere with those signals. It is a little like stepping on a garden hose. Less water gets through, and when less blood gets through to the kidneys, less oxygen gets through too. That may not create an immediate alarm. That is part of the problem. The strain can be quiet, and after 60, quiet strain matters more, because kidney reserve may already be lower, because other medications may already be in the picture, because dehydration may happen more easily, because blood pressure, or diabetes, may already be adding pressure from the side. So the smarter move here is not to suffer in silence. And it is not to live on pain pills either. It is to respect both the pain and the pill. If pain keeps coming back, do not only silence it, ask why it keeps returning. Talk to your doctor. Review everything you take, and that means everything. Prescription medicines, over-the-counter medicines, cold remedies, sleep aids, herbal products, supplements, sometimes safer options, correctly used acetaminophen, physical therapy, heat, cold, stretching, or simple routine change can reduce how often you need NSAIDs. That is the real goal, not fear. Smarter use. Number 2, hidden salt, or more precisely, hidden sodium. This is where many older adults feel they are doing better than they really are. They say, "I do not use much salt," and they may be telling the truth about the salt shaker. But the real problem is often not the salt they add. It is the sodium already built into the food. Bread, canned soup, deli meat, sauces, frozen meals, packaged snacks, processed foods that do not even taste especially salty. That is the trap. Sodium hides well, and when sodium intake stays high, the body holds more fluid. Blood volume rises. Pressure in the blood vessels rises, and high blood pressure is one of the main forces behind chronic kidney damage. The kidney filters are delicate. They are not built to handle relentless pressure forever. So even if a food feels convenient, familiar, or harmless, it may still be pushing the wrong pattern. That is why this matters more after 60, because many people are already managing pressure, or already trying to avoid swelling, or already taking medications that work better. When the diet is not constantly fighting them, the practical answer is simple. Become a label reader. Turn the package over. Find sodium. Compare brands. Choose lower sodium versions. When you can, cook more food at home when possible, and build flavor a different way. Garlic, onion, pepper, lemon, vinegar, rosemary, paprika, turmeric, herbs and spices that give the meal character without turning sodium into the main event. And if you use canned vegetables, rinse them. That small habit can help more than people expect. Number 1, the most dangerous pattern on this list, sugar and refined flour. This is the real wolf in sheep's clothing, because people do not connect it with danger. They connect it with comfort, reward, celebration, convenience. And that is exactly why it becomes so powerful. Sugar and refined flour do not just work from one angle. They attack from several directions at once. First, they push blood sugar up fast, and when that happens again and again, the body can move toward insulin resistance, then toward type 2 diabetes. And diabetes is the leading cause of kidney failure. That is not a small detail. That is the center of the whole conversation. Second, a high sugar eating pattern can also worsen blood pressure. Third, it adds to chronic inflammation. Fourth, it encourages weight gain and fatty liver, which then create even more metabolic stress. That is why I would take this pattern more seriously than anything else on the list. Not because one dessert is a disaster, not because one piece of bread ruins your kidneys, but because repeated habits count more than people think. A daily soda, a sweet breakfast, sugary snacks, white bread, pastries, cookies, sweetened drinks, refined starches, appearing again and again, until the whole routine starts pushing the body in the wrong direction. So the smarter move is not panic. It is pattern control. Cut the obvious liquid sugar first. Soda, sweet tea, sweet coffee drinks, packaged juices. Then look at the rest. Read the ingredient list. Watch for the many names of sugar. Be careful with products marketed as low-fat, but rebuilt with sweetness. And start moving the routine toward real food. Whole grains, beans, vegetables, fruit, plain yogurt, eggs, fish, foods with fiber, foods with structure, foods that slow the body down instead of spiking it. That is not punishment. That is protection. Now let's flip the script, because the goal is not only to remove what strains the kidneys, it is to replace it with something steadier, something smarter, something repeatable. The second half matters, because people do not build health by removing problems alone. They build it by building routines that are easier to defend. And the good news is this: the best kidney-supporting habits are not dramatic. They are ordinary too. But this time, ordinary works in your favor. Best support number 4, regular daily movement. This is the answer to the long-sitting problem. And its biggest strength is that it does not have to be impressive. Walking is useful. Standing breaks are useful. Light stretching is useful. Chair exercises are useful. A short walk after meals is useful. What matters is that the body stops staying still for too long. That is the hidden advantage. Movement supports circulation. It helps with blood sugar. It helps with blood pressure. It helps with weight. And it helps the kidneys indirectly by supporting the very systems that protect them most. The best part is that movement can be broken into small pieces. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 lap through the house, a few stretches near a chair. Small pieces still count, and small pieces are often what older adults can repeat most honestly. Best support number 3, pain relief, with more respect and less autopilot. This is the answer to casual painkiller use. Pain deserves attention, but automatic pill taking is not the same thing as good pain care. A smarter routine starts with asking better questions. What is causing the pain? How often is it happening? Is it posture, shoes, sleep, inflammation, muscle weakness, arthritis needing a better plan? Sometimes the best kidney supportive move is not a new medicine. It is a medication review, a conversation, a different routine. Physical therapy, heat, cold, stretching, less dependence on the pill that became automatic. That matters, because after 60, health problems rarely travel alone. Medicines overlap, side effects overlap, risks overlap. So the more thoughtful the plan, the less likely one familiar habit is to quietly create another problem. Best support number 2, lower sodium food with real flavor. This is the answer to hidden salt. And this is where many people find relief faster than expected. Not because the food becomes boring, but because the source of flavor changes. Instead of letting packaged sodium do all the work, you let actual ingredients do the work. Fresh meals, simple soups, homemade options, roasted vegetables, beans, egg dishes, fresh proteins, meals that do not need a factory formula to taste complete. The beauty of this shift is that it also improves awareness. You start seeing labels differently. You compare bread differently. You buy broth differently. You notice how much sodium is hiding in foods that once looked innocent. And over time, taste adapts. That is important, because once taste adapts, better choices stop feeling like sacrifice. They start feeling normal. And when lower sodium eating becomes normal, blood pressure management often becomes easier too. Best support number 1, a real food pattern, built around water, fiber, and steadier carbohydrates. This is the strongest answer to sugar and refined flour. And if there is one habit cluster that can help blood sugar, blood pressure, energy, weight, and kidney stress at the same time, it is this one. Drink water more often. Build breakfast with more structure. Use whole grains more often than white flour. Choose plain yogurt over sweetened yogurt. Choose whole fruit over juice. Choose meals that slow the body down instead of rushing it upward. This is not about eating perfectly. It is about changing the rhythm. When meals contain more fiber, more protein, more real food, and less fast sugar, the body usually handles them better. Energy tends to feel steadier. Cravings often settle. The pressure on insulin settles, and the kidneys are no longer dealing with quite so many metabolic hits coming from every direction. That is why this rises to number 1, not because it is glamorous, because it is routine-friendly. And after 60, routine-friendly habits are often the ones that help the most. So here is the full takeaway. After 60, the smartest kidney question is not, what single thing should I fear? The better question is, which daily pattern is quietly helping me, and which one is quietly wearing me down? Be more careful with long-sitting, routine NSAID use, hidden sodium, and the repeated sugar and refined flour pattern. Then build more of your life around their better opposites. Move more often. Use pain medicine more thoughtfully. Read the label. Cook with more control. Choose water more often. And let real food do more of the work. That is the rule again. Move. Check. Cut back. Move your body. Check the label. Cut back the daily habit that only feels harmless because it has become familiar. And one more important point before we finish. If you have chronic kidney disease, kidney stones, diabetes, high blood pressure, swelling, or abnormal lab results, do not treat a general video as a personalized medical plan. Some people need specific advice about fluids, biomedicina, sodium, protein, or carbohydrate intake based on their labs, their medications, and their history. So use this as a practical guide. Then personalize it with your doctor or dietitian when needed. And if you want the easiest way to comment today, just write kidney check below and share this video with a spouse, a sibling, a parent, or a friend over 60 who still thinks kidney trouble always announces itself early. Sometimes, the most important protection is not dramatic. It is steady. Stay aware, stay practical, and I will see you in the next video. Because several of the kidney stressors older adults face most often are not dramatic at all. They are ordinary routines.